I'm thinking history markers right now. So I just see where in Iraq, this city emerges out of the waters from, back in BC, before the Common Era occurred. The biblical referencing, there was a common error. I find that interesting that the Kurdish and the German anthropology type people are the ones assigned to that site, and it's in Iraq. Well, why can't the Iraqians survey that site first? You would think they would, right? But how these other people get their noses into shit, I don't know. It's a big question, isn't it? Getting their nose into other people's business, yeah. But it takes me back, of course, to the Huron and the early making of what later became the United States. And so when people came here, they tried to change the beliefs, also known as religion. And by doing so, they carried themselves forth, selected their own section of land, and built things like churches and stuff. And it always cracks me up when I see these historical markers. This is the first Baptist church, the first Methodist church, the first Presbyterian church. The list goes on and on. Well, actually, in all reality, those first buildings got leveled because the Huron said it got in the way of their view. And not only did it get in the way of their view, but it was never authorized, and they didn't have permission to put those structures up to begin with. So they would take their position up high, and then they'd take their position down low, and then they'd rotate their position to high, low, rotate, high, low, and observe the structure that was put up. And after they got a good, solid view of that structure, they would make movement on their feet, and on their way through to this structure, they'd pick up something simple like a rock. And they'd walk right on through, and they'd position that rock in a certain place in that building that was just built. And on their way out, they would just slam a door or kick something. And by the time they all got out, the cracks started at the very top of the building, and the whole thing crumbled to the ground. And so the people that came here without authorization, without permission, nor did they have authorization or permission to put these structures up, started having hissy fits about how their personal things were in there, in those buildings, and now it's all destroyed. And so they went to wherever they came from. Let's say England, since everything started from England, right? And they kicked up their hissy fits. And so they brought kings, noble people here, to have conversations with the higher authority on the land. And, it was not permitted on their side of the world to destroy other people's property, things of meaning, of value, personal meaning and value to that person. And so I find it really odd that we have somehow, under the quote unquote progressed through life. And where things were once prohibited based on somebody's concepts and beliefs, that destroying other people's personal property, things of great value to that individual, memories, things like photographs and other objects that trigger positive memories for that person, it's allowed in today's world to easily be destroyed by the decisions made by local courts who put themselves up there as thinking they're the highest authority known on this planet. Okay? And it does show to some decor, if you will, that there is no higher authority, especially in the United States, if these smaller forms of government are allowed to run rampant and no one ever steps in. Regardless of the number of complaints that riddle up to these alleged positions of authority on a section of land, it goes nowhere. And I truly believe, based on everything that I have seen and witnessed firsthand in my life, there is no such thing as the FBI. I have to believe that. I think that's a false fiction of some Hollywood movie screen. That those type of people do not exist. And if they do exist, they're just playing some silly role. Probably, a bunch of college students pretending. I don't believe that there's any form of intelligence in the United States. There can't be. Not with everything that I've seen and witnessed in my life. There cannot be any form of intelligence in the United States. So the whole concept of the CIA and the Secret Service and all that other bullshit, I don't believe for one flat-born second that those people, even if they are out there, I think they're just college students pretending, okay? They really have no ounces of intelligence. And I think the only intelligence you might find on this planet are people like the KBG or ISIS. Because you're not going to find any stream of intelligence in the United States. I have yet to see it in my lifetime. I mean, these people in every community, especially the little piddly government employees and the cops, they run around like lunatics, chasing people down on the most minute things. Anybody can walk into this country and let's talk about those things they're creating, what, in Switzerland? The death with dignity little household looking items that are actually, will gash you. No different than what Hitler did. I mean, you can't criticize Hitler anymore for gassing millions of people and killing them. Being allowed. Now it's the norm. You can transport that shit from all these other countries, and well, in the United States, you can get anything through here. Nobody's looking, nobody's monitoring, nobody can see anything that's out of the norm because they're so focused on stupid shit. I don't know. I think we're coming to the end, honestly. And going back to the Huron, just one more thing. They tried multiple times, those people that came here to put all those structures up, multiple times to lock them up. And of all the times they tried to lock them up, they always got themselves out. and then they seem to like disappear. Like they all vanished off the planet, and then they would reappear. And nothing for nothing, the Huron, they hold the highest knowledge of this planet. That means they know how to they know how to create life without two other life forms. They know how to recreate themselves all by themselves. They know how to do just about anything. So I'm kind of betting all this shit you keep digging up because you want to expand your learning and your fucking knowledge instead of cleaning up the mess, the trail, the historical trail of just never-ending mess that was created by digging shit up. I can guarantee you, you're gonna dig something up, and it's gonna be big. And when you do dig that up, well, things are gonna change, aren't they?